Guys, it is going down and I can't wait. I am so glad to be launching the official launch party for Nano 13. And I'll be bringing in our guests one by one. But starting off with me, introductions are in order. I am the Dumble whose door is always open. Gandalf without the gray or the white because I'm all black. Jordy LaForge, captaining this enterprise and your master of ceremonies. I am Left Eye Ego. All right, and I'll be bringing in first the Writ Master, okay, of the Revolution. I'm talking a man that's about that action, Chris Faction.
That's
Good
right.
sir, how are we doing today?
I am the glorious and notorious Chris Faction. That is me. I am doing wonderful. It's been great.
Yes.
Like in the last 24 hours, just doing the kind of soft launch, letting friends and family know or whatever. But now we're here with Left Eye Ego, and we are
Let's
ready to
get
party.
it. All right, not to be outdone. I've got the madman with a pen and pad in his hands. The man that is all Romo, no Tony. My Cowboys fans understand that reference. I'm talking about the man himself, Ron from Romo Art. How are we doing, good sir?
Good, buddy. Thank you for having us on. Doing really good.
All right, fantastic. I am so glad you guys are joining me for this today, as well as everyone that is in the chat. First one's first. Yes, of course, he's like, okay, you know what? I was just getting celebratory tequila, okay, for the launch party, all right?
Never a
We have
better
red
reason to be
carpet.
late.
Exactly. You got a red carpet. We have stars in our midst. Tequila is in order, guys, okay? All right, we got bro, this is the launch party for Nano-13. That is the official music that they've got for it. We're going to be going over their Fund My Comic. We're going to go over their page as well. You get the whole gist of everything on that, too. Show me them indie comics.
Hello.
My man, John A. Douglas. Nosferatu, my man. Yes, sir. And yes, epic intro. Okay. Yeah, you know what? When I get it cut, I can't like put a hat because I want to flatten it. So yes, it does look funny even to me sometimes. All right. So guys, we're going to be doing pretty much an open interview with these guys. I got a few questions that I want to ask them, but if there are questions that you guys want to ask them yourselves as well, feel free to put it in the chat. We are multi-streaming from Instagram Live, YouTube, and I believe Twitter as well. So, I'll be checking all of those throughout the launch, and whatever questions you guys have, just go ahead and let me know. So, guys, first things first, how did we get this epic, epic collaboration? Even if it goes back to how y'all met, I gotta hear it. Please tell me everything.
What do you think, Chris?
Um,
Who do you want to tell the story?
I'll
Oh, there's
go
a
first.
story.
I'll go
Okay.
first, and then I'll tell my side. You tell your side,
Okay.
right?
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, honestly, like I'm a first time comic book creator. So, I was like putting my feelers out, for everything. Like I didn't even know what all I needed. And I had the story written. I had Mark Polton as my editor, and he was going over everything. And then I started to talk to Ron about just character sheets. I was like, man, I need these concepts. I have the ideas on what everything looks like and all that. And so I like I had a couple of people do some stuff I wasn't too happy with, and I was like, man, this is gonna cost me a lot if I don't end up getting what I want. So I need to look around. Well, then I saw Ron doing Sector 7, and I was looking at that artwork, and I was like, man, this is a style that I really, really like. And so I talked to Ron about the character sheets, and then I just decided, you know what, man, like let's just go for it. Let's start working on the book, and we'll see where it goes from there. And he drew up the promo page first, and I was like, okay, this is sick. Like we're we're definitely on the right page. So, all right, Ron.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So this is my version, which is um. So for me, I was doing Sector 7 with I co-created with my good friend Matt Boyce, who lives right like a few blocks away from me. We've been friends for like maybe 13 years by now. Goes by fast. It was a great looking book. It's a kaiju book. We pushed the launch quicker than we should have, but I had financial reasons that I needed to do that. And, made all the same mistakes that everyone makes in the beginning, and literally I just started my social media, like Twitter, basically in last March. So last March, that's when I started, and we tried to launch our first comic. I think like 3 months later, and no one knew who we were. No, it wasn't happening for no other reason than the fact that no one knew who we were. And Chris had gotten to me, and I'm like, man, like, he told me a story. And I'm like, that sounds exactly like the type of sci-fi that I like. More of a serious take on sci-fi. I always say like Ridley Scott, you know what I mean? More of a serious take. And that's my favorite kind. There's not enough of that out there. But at the time I was like, dude, I just can't, there's no way I can fit it in. And so, he was like, okay, I'll see what I can do with other artists. And one day he gave it just like one more Hail Mary. And I remember like being at work. I'm like, you know what? Sector 7, it might not fund. It's a great book, but we're just too new. And I'm like, I'll tell you, I was like, you know what? I really want to do this book. And it's more of a time thing. But you know what? The hell with it. I'm just going to do it. And thank God I did. Because, and I've said this on probably every podcast that I've been on since starting to work with Chris. Sector 7 never funded. It's not going away. We're going to be doing that later on, probably this year or next year. But thank God that Chris gave me that one more pass, because literally saved my family. Because if I didn't start working, I've said this on everybody's cast because it means so much to me. If I didn't start working for Chris, I would have had to have gotten a second job. And that means I would be doing no art for anyone, for myself, that it'd be done. It'd be over. And Chris, just out of the blue, it was probably a month since I had talked to him. He's like, I really want you to do it. I'm like, I really want to do it too. The hell with it. And dude, that's pretty much how I've paid my rent since I've met Chris. So it was really, really a big deal for me. And again, it was just Chris's tenacity and just not letting it go. And it worked out really well. So yeah, it was really a lifesaver. It was a godsend. Because at first I had said no. I wanted to, but I didn't have time. But I was like, I'm going to make the time. And thank God I did. So
I'm trying to figure out if I got this right. So it sounds like all this happened like within maybe like the last year, 18 months?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like May. We started working on the book like early June.
I probably started working in June for Chris.
Yeah.
Wow. Like 40, I thought y'all been like
41 or 42 pages plus letters.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much halfway done with. I'm halfway done with lettering now. I'm lettering the book too.
Wow.
And through I had a neck injury where I literally couldn't hold my pen. It like fell out of my hand. That was scary. Chris had financial things where like on his daughter's birthday, he got his bank account got like frauded.
Yeah.
So like through these, and me and him, but dude, me and Chris are a lot alike to where we know we can trust each other. And we just kept going. We're like, no problem. Draw when you can. I'm like, no problem. Pay me when you can. I don't care. And it's such a great, like Chris has spoiled me because he is my first creator that I've worked with. And it's
nice.
The best. It's the best. So I am working with another creator right now. And I got to tell you, he's great too. I don't want to, I'm doing another book right now called,
he is great.
Yeah. I'm doing another book called The Well for Mark Mulgrave, and that's going really well. And then when Chris is ready to pick up again on Nano-13, I'll be there, so I'm just trying to fill my time in until Nano-13, part 2 comes out. So
part 2.
Nice. That's actually going to bring us to the main page we're going to be checking out, guys. So actually check this out. And the one thing that I was going to bring up too that I liked was the fact that they says the age of the tactical hero has arrived, and I dig that. I know that there's the fantasy where it's the person just like in a loincloth and like
Hmm.
the shoulder chain and a sword, but I'm just like, where's the armor? Where's the? I get the shield and the sword, but where's like the armor? Where's the tactical gear? So I
Right.
like that you said it's the age of the tactical hero. I dig it. All right. So let me go back up to here. So guys, here we are on the Fund My Comic. The link is actually in the description. So let me get my movie producer voice on as I read the description. 3,000 years ago, the Zeus invaded Earth and enslaved mankind. Now a group of nano-powered freedom fighters resolve to take their planet back. Nano-13. Guys, I mean, this went live, yesterday at 9 in the morning, and you're already 54% there. So you've got $817 out of the $1,500 goal. Who are the main characters of Nano 13? And I know that I read the description, but tell us what exactly they are up against for the uninitiated.
So like the intro said, 3,000 years ago. So think like the Bronze Age. Um, Aliens invade, and there's fast forward to now. Humanity is pretty much completely subjugated, and all humans are slaves. Minus some that are in hiding. And Our main characters were all born as slaves under the Zerus. They gain their freedom. You're going to get just a little tiny story on it's just, hey, they gain their freedom, but there's a whole lot of backstory that we plan on fleshing out in future. I'm gonna do it a lot like old school Wolverine, where
Okay.
you're gonna get these little snapshots into their past and even just their past in the world, other characters that are connected or whatever, and but you're never gonna get like that Wolverine origins where it's just we're gonna lay the whole story out, you know, in a linear fashion. You're going to have to put the puzzle pieces together. I love that kind of storytelling. I thought when all of a sudden Wolverine, remembered everything, I thought that really kind of ruined the character. And with these guys, I want the reader to be able to, be like, oh wait, this puzzle piece fits here and this one fits here, and I think I'm getting an idea of, like how they escaped from slavery, how they got their powers, and there's going to be little hints dropped here and there. It's called Nano 13 because there are 13 nano powered freedom fighters. You're
Ooh, like we're doing like Warrior, the 13th Warrior kind of deal.
Well, so
Okay. All right.
this story focuses on the main group, which is those characters on the cover. You have Arok, Crixus, Jusik, and Akari. You'll see some of the other characters, but you'll notice that two are missing, and we're just gonna have to take this one to the moon so I can keep making comic books and you can get that story, because I guarantee you, once you read this, you're gonna want you want more. You do. You want more, especially when you see that last page. You see that last page. It's you remember like the old school Lost in Space episodes where
Yes.
remember
Yes.
how the end scene was always like the teaser for the next episode. So
Yes.
get to that last, the last like 2-3 pages, but that last page, boom, there's a reveal there, and you're gonna be like, wait a minute, I gotta know what this is about. I gotta know what's going on, and so gotta keep you
Nice.
guys gotta take this to the moon so we can keep going, because I'm telling you, you want this story.
Okay. All right. So go, Ron. Go ahead. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. I mean, I obviously Chris has told me quite a bit. When he says, flesh out future issues, he basically means just putting the words in, because he's got it all in his head already. Like, there's not much for him to figure out what to do with. He's told me a lot of this story is so massive that it is going to take this series plus offshoot series that all, I mean, it's so big. It all makes sense. It all makes sense. So it doesn't stray too far away from what you're going to see here. It just goes in deeper to what you see here. It's really important to know that. And it's a really good, sprawling sci-fi epic story, and it's worth it. It's worth it.
All right, I like it. I like it. So, I mean, I guess that brings the next thing to mind is, I guess, in terms of, writing it in your head, like, Chris, who were the influences on creating your heroes and the villain Zerus? And I guess, Ron, for you, who influenced you to draw the characters? I mean, I'm not sure how that process worked between you guys, but, take us through your process of creating the characters.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah. So most of these, well, all of the Nano characters are based on people I know. I grew up playing music, grew up in a local punk rock scene, and so, like, I had bandmates, I had friends that we played shows with, and there was this core group of guys that we were all really close friends. And when the story started to form in my head, it was always that group of people that I thought of as those characters. And the earliest versions of this story were, 20 some odd years ago. It was actually not
20
a
years ago?
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Yeah, the earliest version actually didn't have any aliens in it. It took place in like the here and now. And they were like government experiments or something like that. And then I was like, I'm kind of not feeling that. I like this idea
I
of,
don't even think you ever told me that. That's
yeah,
crazy. I
no.
don't think you ever told me that. So I had no idea. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, I mean, honestly, like, that idea really didn't stick in my head for very long. When I threw the aliens in there, that's when the story started to expand, and it started to really, like grow into its own thing. And that's what I found when I finally started actually putting, figuratively, pen to paper. um it it was almost like the story was writing itself, because, one, you already kind of know the personalities of these characters. You know what kind of people they're like, and the decisions that they would make. And when you come up with an idea about these aliens, the Zerus, um you know without giving too much away, they're an insectoid like race, and they are eugenicists. So
Ooh.
not only do they use that in their slave population to make the slaves how they want them, but they also do things to themselves and to either enhance or change themselves. So some of the characters may not look like
All right.
insectoid or whatever, but there's backstory there. There's what did this alien do to itself, and why? You know. So, and our main villain in this issue is called the Breeder, and you'll see why in the issue. But he is kind of a cross between Dr. Mangala and Mr. Sinister.
That's nice.
He likes messing around with genetics and things like that, and creating, uh well, he's evil.
Okay, all right.
That's what we need in comics. We need villains that are villains. They have to be
Yeah.
evil.
Yeah. No, I want to know how his father treated him so I can feel bad for him. That's what I need in my villain. I need to cry for my villain. Jeez.
Right,
Not
right,
around here.
right.
Not
I
around
need to
here.
know if his mom hugged him enough.
Oh man, like
Unreal.
I'm telling
No,
you,
I
and
mean, go,
you
go
know,
ahead.
I just in this storytelling and throughout, you know, I've already written um 6 issues, and throughout the story, I want the readers to have questions at the end of each book. I want them to finish and go, wait a minute, what was that? What is this? You know, and then boom, like you're gonna get those puzzle pieces every single issue. You know, and after issue 3, hopefully we're relying on the grace of crowdfunding, but after issue 3, it branches out into multiple stories. And so it gets
Ooh, okay.
really wild, really wild.
Okay.
I can
All
vouch
right.
for that. It gets crazy. Yeah, it's gonna be even by the end of this story, things aren't the same.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah,
so good.
yeah.
It's so good. It doesn't take long. Yeah.
All right. I like it. Good. So I mean, I'm glad you kind of brought this thing up about what is needed in comics, because I understand that this is the age of the creative, but I wanted to get you all's individual takes on the state of the comic book industry as a whole. You can include the indies and the big two, but what is your generalized take on the state of the industry?
Um, you know what, Ron? I'm gonna let you take that one first.
Okay. All right. Maybe you can soften everyone up after I'm done then, I guess.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Um, okay. Yeah, I think it sucks. I do. I think it sucks. Now here's the thing. It's it's not like it's impossible. It could be so much better. All right. So we all know what happened with Marvel and DC. We know what happened with the big two. We know what happened with almost everything in the country. Okay. That's just it is what it is. I mean, it's not like it hasn't been said a billion times. No reason to bring it up. But it it I will tell you that my opinion has changed for the better though. If you had asked me like maybe last June or July if it has helped the indie scene, I would have said no. I don't think it's helped the indie scene. I think it's made the indie scene bigger, so it's made more creators in the indie scene. But I didn't see a huge bump in sales. I just saw the bottom of the pyramid get larger. Now I've actually changed my mind about that. I think it probably has helped, especially some of the larger creators in the indie sphere to bring attention. All right, because to credit where credit's due,
My
it
bad.
no, it's all right. Yeah, credit where credit's due. I'm not a huge believer in a rising tide raises all ships. However, I will say it's probably got. I'll just throw out an arbitrary number, like 10% better for the creators that you've never heard of, because at least now people are looking. There's a few problems the indie scene is going to have a tough time getting over that the larger companies have. That is cost and that is quantity, like per year. Okay, if and there are some indie creators who if we saw their comic in the old comic store that we all used to go to, sitting on a shelf, we would, if you took $50 into the comic store, you could get 10, 12 comics that you loved and you got every month, and you'd have enough money to, holy shit, like that's new, that cover is awesome, who is this guy, I have no idea, but it looks cool. You'd have enough money to take a chance on a few people and they would make their name. I know for a fact, I know creators whose book should be doing better, but it's not the old way of doing things anymore. And so now you take that $50 and you bring it to the indie sphere, you can buy 2 books. You know what I mean? And that's a problem that all of us creators face. It is what
Gotcha.
it is. That's fine. Here's the ray of hope. The ray of hope is manga, not manga itself. But manga tells us in America that there is still a large enough group of people that want to read words with pretty pictures to make the industry viable still.
Mhm.
And also, in this time and place, if we still have those people with all the other media stuff that there is out there, we will we're down to the bare bones. But I think we still have plenty of customers out there, and we'll probably be able to ride these numbers forever. Like, there's always going to be a certain group of people that want to read comics, and we just got to get them back. That's all. So it's not about manga. It's about, there are people that still enjoy this medium. They're there. Let's get them back. So I think the state of comics is horrible. I think there's some issues that the big guys and the indie sphere both have to contend with in their own genre. But guys, the fans are there. The fans are there. They're buying manga, so they'll buy America. We just have to give them a reason. They want to read. They want to look at good art. Those people were down to the bare bones, but they're there, and it's still a viable medium. And I think, we'll see what happens. So it's definitely not impossible at all.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I think I think that there's still a very large market that wants to read. Like you were saying, stories with animated pictures,
Yep.
that illustrations or whatever. And right now, manga is crushing it. But one, I can tell you straight up, American comic book art smashes Japanese art, smashes it. Now people say,
I think so at times myself, and I'm an American artist, I know, but there's some great manga out there. It's just,
sure.
I don't know. To me, I just like the American stuff better. It's probably cultural, but I agree.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I think in this indie sphere, what's happening is, obviously you're not going to walk into your local comic shop and see this cover on the shelf. And so what we have to do is um, travel around doing these shows on YouTube or whatever, and showing them, hey man, this is, I want you to buy this. I want you to have this. It's going to be a good story, I promise. What ends up happening is you're selling yourself. 20 years ago, if you were an aspiring artist, then you were paying attention to who the artist was. But if you were just a comic book reader, if you were just going every Wednesday and seeing what looked cool, and maybe you followed, like maybe your pull list had like 2 or 3 books or something like that, you weren't paying attention to who was writing and who was drawing and stuff like that. You were like, I just like X-Men, and then when things started to kind of get bad, everybody was like, wait a minute, who's writing this? And so I think where we're at right now is creators, artists, anybody putting out indie books, like, we have to sell ourselves. I don't necessarily want to do that. I mean, I've spent most of my life in the spotlight, but I'm also 42 years old, and I'm like, can I just like make the comic book now?
Yep. Dude, that was the first mistake. So, like I said, we made the same mistakes as any new creators with Sector 7. That was the first thing. I had no idea. So, like, the indie market is a literal 180 from the regular market. And the regular market, like I said, you could have a cool book that's like $3.50 sitting right there next to Batman and stuff. You'll take a chance, and the art or the writing or both would make that creator's name. In the indie sphere, is literally the opposite. You have to like the person first, and then if they sell some art or write a book, you'll buy it. It's a 180, and we were not prepared. I had no idea like how strange the marketing is for indie books compared to regular, I mean, almost anything else in the world. almost anything else. Imagine a Nike shoe not selling itself, but the designer of the Nike shoe, you're like, oh, that's
Right.
Bob something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
buy his shoe. It's fucking backwards. but that's literally the indie comic verse. It's so crazy.
Yeah. But you know what? We are having a lot of fun.
Oh,
You know,
hell yeah.
I totally think that those of us in the indie sphere are having way more fun than the people in the mainstream. Because the people in the mainstream, you know, if they think something wrong, then they're going to be afraid they're going to get canceled. You know, here in the indie sphere, we're like, party on, you know, like let's have at it.
Yeah, I would definitely
Nice.
say there's more smiling faces in the indie sphere. I would say though, you don't run the risk of being canceled. What you run the risk of in the indie sphere is being sectioned off more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you know what I mean? Because listen, politics doesn't go anywhere; it's everywhere. So it's not like they could take it away from you. It's just that your group just got a little bit smaller or a little bit larger. You know, it could go either way. And it's still unfortunate that has to be a part of this. I don't think that's going to go away. I think that's just the world now. So try to stay out of it as best you can, accept everyone for who they are, and unless there's some like egregious things happening, like live and let live. You know, just make some cool shit. That's it.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yep.
Heavily agree on that one.
Yep.
Guys, so we're about midway through the questions that we've got so far. I want to kind of take it back a little bit and thank all of the listeners that are in on YouTube, Instagram, and I believe Twitter as well. So for everyone that's actually been in the chat, I've actually put your name into this next game that we will be playing. I'm going to turn this off here and bring it up. We are going to do the age-old spin the wheel. I know that for the Fun My Comic that you guys going on there, that you guys are halfway over. So we're going to spin the wheel 3 times. And for each winner, I will be going ahead and attributing the $20 to the Nano-13 issue 1. So if we spin the wheel and your name comes up, send me your information. And once this comic book is fulfilled and shipped to me, it is going to go right to you. Just to thank you guys for tuning in and listening in as well. So we're going to get this thing. Bro,
Thank you so much. That is amazing.
That's
no
awesome.
problem at all, man. I want to get in on this, and man, I heard that badass theme song. I'm like, yeah, I'm contributing.
It is great.
It's happening.
I will have to talk more about that.
Okay, we jump into that. Ooh, I'm on. Yeah, you're on the wheel, honey. But I mean, it's ours. You know, you're gonna pay the husband tax, of course. You know, if you win, it's rigged if I win. Yeah, that's right.
Is that your wife?
It was. Oh yeah, she wrote yes. Yes, she is.
Oh,
yes.
nice. Okay.
Yes, she's definitely in there. Johnny Douglas wants to know: are there orcs in it?
There are not orcs in it. The Zerus are the only alien race you're going to see right now. There are more out there, and it's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, there is hope, Johnny Douglas, sir. There is hope. All right, so I'm gonna get the drum roll crack-a-lacking, and we're gonna spin this bad boy. So first spins up. Man, McCluring it, my man.
McCluring it.
Yes, McCluring it. Good sir. Went to grad school with that guy. Awesome dude. Hey, dude, if you're still in the live stream, he was actually in on Instagram, dude. If you DM me your information, I will go ahead and ship you your copy. So first one that we've got is my man McCluring it. I'm gonna have to remove you from this one so you don't win again. Pew. All right. So wheel spin number 2. Let me double check this here.
You know, I mean, the one of the alien screamer Vost, he looks kind of like a goblin. You know,
I agree with Brittany. That's my wife, by the way, Brittany.
Hello,
Just in
Blaine.
case her name comes up, I don't want to like I don't want to cheat. You know what I mean? In case her name comes up
That
on
is
the wheel.
fair. That is
But
fair.
no, she's right. Like the Xeris, they're nightmarish. Absolutely
yes,
nightmarish.
it is actually very, very dystopian. What they do, and yeah, it's not for children.
All right, putting that M for
Not for
mature on
children,
this bad boy.
but let's say though, still, because I know because I drew it and I read the issue, obviously, but it's teen, it's teen. Like
Yes,
we don't show anything like blood, gore, anything like that, right? It's implied through the writing of
yes,
the
yeah,
type
yeah.
of things that
Well,
they do. So
there is a
absolutely, teens.
decapitated guy on page 1.
Oh, that's right.
I'm sold.
That's
I'm
right.
sold. I'm sold.
Well, you got sometimes you got to throw that in once in a while.
Right,
You got to have just
exactly.
a random head there
Exactly.
sometimes.
Yeah.
That's fair. No, I understand, because that's one of the things that I found is that I'm a proud graduate of the Gaston Literary Academy, and if you've never heard of that, here's our motto when we graduate.
How can you read this? There's no pictures. How can you read?
So
Nice.
yeah, so I
Nice.
appreciate if you can show me, and then I can read the dialogue along with it. So that's kind of how I've been
Well,
rolling.
I guarantee you won't miss the head on page 1.
Okay. All right. So Ms. Lane said we got to let it spin. All right. We're going to get this rolling with spin number 2. Let's roll it up. Here we go. Yo. AC.
He's angry.
My man from the land of down. Oh, no, the land of the rising sun. That's where he's at. Yeah, bro. Angry Canadian, sir. You are the second winner that we've got on here. I'm just logging this down now so I can remember, because I'll need y'all all messaging me like, "Hey, I don't know if you missed this, but I won." I'm like, hold on, I got my list of who won.
Dude, the Zeros are actually kind of like the Canadian government.
Well done. Yeah, just give me a second. Give me a second. That was good, man. That was good. That was good. All right, let me go ahead and get AC out. All right. All right. So last spin that we've got on here. Gotta get that drum roll going, and here we go. Wow. This is absolutely fortified. You know what? I'm sorry, guys.
The Shadow campaign.
I'm not gonna lie. This is that Dominion spinning wheel. I am so sorry. I gotta return that. Oh man. So yes, Mrs. Lane, I'm writing you down on here as well. She actually called it. So
interference.
It's been an interesting turn of events.
Interference, yeah. Dude, I was honest beforehand though. I didn't want that to happen. Congrats, baby. Congrats. Pass on the black man. Oh, man. Can't we all just get along?
Oh man, who spun this? Mike Pence?
No, that was my wife that put that on there.
That's awesome.
Oh man,
fantastic.
Oh guys, so we got our 3 winners: McCluring It, Angry Canadian, and Brittany Lane. So guys, hit me up with your information or whichever mailing address you want me to send it to, and as soon as everything hits fulfillment and it's shipped to me, I will be shipping it over to you. Actually, while this works, let me go ahead and put in the contribution that I've got as well. Put me down for the 3 on there. And do I just once I've got the ones that I want, do I just hit contribute or choose
No,
reward?
go to choose your rewards.
Uh huh.
There's two choices there. So
Right.
you can buy one book, or we have a retail tier, so you can get 6 books for $100. So it's pretty much buy 5 get 1 free.
Damn, that's nice. Okay, so I'm looking at it now. I got it. Okay. All right. Y'all got a coupon code? No, I'm joking.
Maybe next time.
It's all good. I got you.
You know what? Brittany's right. Like she said, no, I can't run around with my husband. Okay. I'll tell you what. Look at the chat,
Yeah.
Ego, and tell me who shows up the most in your chat.
Oh, honestly, if I go back to the beginning of this,
Who's
we're
been
getting
around the longest for you?
so the who's been around the longest is either Shiro, Nosferatu, or Johnny Douglas.
I want you to give mine to Nosferatu. Can you do that for me?
You got it, bro.
All right.
Nosferatu, my Crip brother, you are
That's for you,
in.
buddy. That's for you.
Okay,
You
so
the
I
man,
will
man.
switch out. As long as Mrs. Lane's cool with this, you got it. Nosferatu is in. Got it. So we got Angry Canadian, McCluring it, and Angry Canadian.
I'll do the dishes
Awesome.
for her tomorrow night. I'll make it up to her.
Dude, and so Ron had a piece of original
Oh my God,
art.
Whitney!
It was the pencils for page 2
Yeah.
that we put up there as a tier, and it was the very first thing that sold. Like almost as soon as the
Really?
campaign went live.
Do you know who bought it? Like, do you know who?
I do. I
Message.
I
Can
so
you
like
message me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I'll let everybody know.
Oh yeah, if you want to let everybody know.
Yeah, because it surprised me. Like I get the email that the original art was sold or whatever, and I look at it, and it's got my brother's name in there, and I was like,
"Oh, that's
no
great,
kidding.
man. That's awesome,
No
dude.
kidding.
Yeah,
that is
Oh, that's
awesome,
cool.
man. That's beautiful. That's beautiful, man. See, we're making things happen over here. Yeah, because I was like, I saw some of the ones that y'all had where that were like unavailable. I'm like, thank God, because I could not afford that. Like, I got some friendly backers. Left fed ego. All right, so back to basically the creative process of this, but what's been the most unexpected part of creating your own comic book, and simultaneously, what's been the most fun?
I would say honestly, just the most fun is watching everything come together. Like just going from having an idea in my head, writing the story, and then just starting to see Ron bring the characters to life. And then when Jay Brown started adding those colors, and you were just because there were some of the pages like I do believe one of the pages that's actually up on the campaign, the double page spread or whatever. When I wrote that, I wasn't picturing it at night or during the day for that matter. Like I was, just writing a story about them doing a recon mission. And when I got the colors back on that, and it just set the tone. To me, that page was the one that really set the tone for the book.
Dude, the same thing happened to me. I had the exact same feeling because when I was drawing, I actually kind of assumed it was daytime. But every time I went and clicked and I saw the colors, I'm like, oh my God, like the tones are just fucking beautiful. I love them.
Yeah.
Love them.
Yeah. And if if your listeners aren't familiar with Jay Brown, he pretty much made his name in G.I. Joe. And now he's doing some work for the Rippaverse, and he still does all kinds of freelance work. So if you're looking to get a book colored, I highly recommend Jay Brown. He really knows what he's doing, and he likes high action books. I mean, he was messaging me like, dude, I love this story. There's so much action. This is my, this is like my thing, and I'm like, dude, that's awesome. Like, you got the guy that used to work on G.I. Joe saying that he likes the action in your book. You're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Not
But
felt the same way.
yeah,
It's
just
that serious sci-fi.
yeah, watching it come together. But yeah, Ron, go ahead, dude.
Yeah.
I
Yes,
honestly,
sir.
I tell you, for me, and I said yes to Chris because I really did like the story, and it's the kind of sci-fi that if it was an anime, if it was a movie, I would want to watch it. There's not enough of the really good gritty sci-fi out there. So I wanted in. So that was, but still, it's comic book, and that's par for the course for me. It's what I do. So for me, the most rewarding part, literally, I will be honest. I am a man, but I will be honest. Last night I got a little teary. I got a little teary eyed because I did not expect when I looked at the campaign, like whatever, 4 hours after it opened, it was almost halfway at that point, and then my artwork had sold the first sale, and it's as I'm 47, and this is the first chance I've had this past year to really focus on my art career, and this is my first win. Like this is my first win. This is my first successful venture in my adult art career, and it,
Wow.
I just kept refreshing. I just kept all through the day. I just kept looking, and I just couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it. And I'm like, this is amazing. Like, this is actually going to happen, and I'm part of something successful. So the feelings that I had yesterday were just overwhelming. It really was.
Yeah, yeah,
Man, I that makes yeah, that actually that's beautiful, man. Especially with starting something and just knowing that you're a part of something and that something was successful. I can only imagine how that felt. You're doing your thing, and then the first thing you see is the thing that I actually want to do is selling, and I can only imagine the fact that you probably, it sounds like you hit refresh, you're like, please let the number stay. Please don't let it be misprint.
No,
Was it $20 or 200? I can only imagine,
it
man.
was just amazing. It really was. I really was amazing. And then, by the end of the night, it had just really hit me. I'm like, this is gonna happen. Like, this is actually gonna be successful, and I'm the artist on it. And I'm like, this has never happened before. And it's just, you know, it's basically my intro into like a larger community. It's so, and again, dude, I just signed up for Twitter last March. So like this is all new for me. My life didn't even start till I was 40. That's when I got married. I had my first kid at 41. I've had a very strange life, and this is my first career success. And it's just like it got to me last night. I just couldn't hold it in. It was amazing. So yeah.
Dude, you sound like you had a hell of a 7 years, man. You said 47, right?
I'm 47, yeah.
Damn, dude, that's a lot at 47, man. Hold on,
I
sir.
I I took
I'm
care of
sorry. Hold on.
no, yeah.
Hey, John Douglas, just
Wait,
at Chris Faction on Twitter. Just hit me up
oh,
there.
yeah. My bad. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, because that's what Johnny Douglas is asking for. Yeah. Man,
Yeah,
yeah, that's a
it's
lot,
been a
man.
crazy it's been a crazy since I was, like I said, my life did start. I took care of my mentally ill mother from the time I was
Mhm.
20 to about 38, 39 years old, and she passed away. So a large chunk of my life like wasn't mine. It was missing. So honestly, I jumped right into a wife and family because she had two girls already. So I
Oh,
jumped
wow.
right into
Okay.
a family at 40,
Wow.
my son at 41, and like this is like my first my real career highlight right now. So this is like me at 47 being 27, and it's just awesome. It's just the feeling is
That's
just so
nice,
great.
man.
Yeah.
That's great, dude. Man, that's damn, dude.
Yeah, man.
That's because
You know,
where
and
you are.
It's
At least
exciting
she's
enough.
up there. At least she's on it. At least she's on it.
like
Yeah.
I got out of the army in 2016,
Okay.
and like when you get out of the army, you're kind of spun around. There's a
Yes.
huge difference between military life and civilian life, and it takes a little bit of time to adjust. And then everybody's you do this, do that, and everything. And I got a job that I really, really enjoyed. But the thing is I'm never satisfied with just the status quo. I have to stay busy. I have to keep doing things. My mind is always like go, 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 and I was like, man, I need to make this book, and originally I thought about making it a novel, but I was like, there's no way. Like, this is a comic book. Like, this story has to be told as a comic book. And
Visually.
yeah, and
Absolutely.
when Ron and I were talking, like, I told him straight up, I was like, dude, I believe in like the John Romita Sr. way of the artist is the final storyteller. And and you'll see that in the book. Like, Ron tells the story with the pictures, and you're just going to read the words to interpret, you know, what's going on.
Just fill in the blanks a little bit with the words. And,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This book is all about the art. I mean, one of the first things that Ron kind of said to me was like, I like that you don't have excessive dialogue going on. Like, you get to the point,
Okay.
get what needs to be, put across
There you
or
go.
whatever. And to me, that's how a comic book should be. Like, put in the information you need to know, but those pictures, that's where the story lies,
See,
And
now as an artist, how could you ask for a better creator to work with?
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Like,
Yeah,
I
match made in
never
heaven.
had to redo one freaking thing, not one. Chris is always like, awesome, awesome,
Yep.
fire, like every time. I'm like, this guy's spoiling me. This is amazing. This is so great. And I will say, art wise, Chris Nano-13 is some of the best art that I had done because it represents like that year, 2023, right? But because it was the first time that I had the chance to literally sit down if I wasn't busy at work because I draw on my iPad. If and so I'm working while I'm at work, I'm working at home. I've never had the chance to draw continuously for that long. So that now I'm a better artist than I was in 2023. Like
oh
Chris
yeah,
was like, yeah, you've leveled up. Like
yes,
it was crazy. I became a better inker. I became a better like laying out the page with
hmm
balance. So now Mark Mulgrave with the well is now getting my best art because Chris gave me the chance to really hone my craft. So guys, and if you like the art, if you think it's even decent, Nano-13 issue 1, issue 2 will be my current best work after I have more practice with Mark's book. You know what I mean? Like this, and like I said, I know I'm 47, but I didn't have the time to really hone my craft like I've had this past year. And I really dug in, and it's almost like a lot of artists feel this way. They see something they did last year and they want to go redo it. Like I'm looking at pages for Chris and I'm like, I want to go redo it. But it's like, no, issue 1 is beautiful. Issue
hmm
2 will be more beautiful. Issue 3, you know what I mean? It really is. It's
oh man,
it's just I'm so happy
you
to be
guys
able to
just
get the
wait.
chance to work on it. I really am.
I mean, you don't even like. We're funded for the first book,
Yeah.
and I want everybody to get this story and read it and see Romo's art, and you know like you will see on those pages like that he levels up through the book. You know, not a single page is bad. They're all fantastic. But there are just certain things that you notice, I mean, I have to look at these pages over and over and over and over again,
Yeah. Yeah.
and as it progressed, like they're just little things that I would notice that I would just be like, oh man, that is just mwah, it's like amazing. And knowing what the story is in issue 2 and having gone over it a little bit with Ron and telling him like we're going to be doing some things that are different from the first book. There's going to be different scenes and stuff like that, and there's going to be this one really has one main villain and a lackey. The next one has an entire team of villains.
This book sets the tone.
Nice.
Yeah, this book sets the tone. Yeah, like if you like it, then you're in for the rest of it. Because this book sets the stage.
Yeah.
And then, when we're ready to do issue 2, I try to be as quick as I can. I try to get like 2 pages done a week. As my inking has improved, I have had to slow down. It's just line, it is what it is. Like your inking gets better, that means it takes a little bit more time. But definitely it took me about, even with a neck injury where I couldn't draw for like 3 weeks, even then it took me about maybe I think 7 months, roughly 7 months.
Yeah, it was about
to
7
do like
months.
42 pages.
7 months.
42 plus the cover and the promo. So
the promo and with a full-time job and a family that I don't ignore. So like I really try to work as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe in making the fans wait. Again, that's one of the things that indie has against it is the time. I don't believe in a book taking 3 years. It's just not okay for me.
Yeah.
Take that time. Okay.
And that is one thing that I really want to stress to the backers of this book. My goal, I'm going to say my goal. I'm working my hardest to meet this goal. Is that campaign ends? What is it?
April 18th.
Yeah, April 18th. That's a Friday. It will be either already printed or at the printer at that time. My ultimate goal is to have that product at Critical Blast ready to ship by that Monday. So as soon as the campaign ends, April 18th, what I'm working towards is April 21st, books start going out. Now,
I like it.
One thing I have realized is that there's always something.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Dude, I didn't expect when I hurt my neck and I had like nerve damage down to I couldn't feel my fingers. I went to pick up my pen and it fell out of my hand. I didn't plan that. Holy, that was scary. That was scary.
Freak me.
Dude, it was weird. But I will tell you guys, Chris has never, ever broken his word to me. Never. In fact, he's went above and beyond. So if he says that this is what he's doing, he's military. Come hell or high water, barring some unforeseen tragedy, knock on wood, this is what's going to happen.
Yep. I'm not going to lie to you. 90%. I'm a doctor, and 90% of my patients are veterans. When you say, "Hey, your appointment's at Wednesday at 9," you'll show up at 8:45. So they are set and about to schedule. So I'm letting y'all know now. If he's gonna have it this day, and he says it's 21st, word is bond when it comes to military. Just letting y'all know.
That's right. That's right.
I want to say hey to B.A. Turner. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah. What up, Brent?
Let me B.A.
What up,
Good
Brent?
sir.
Welcome.
Yeah, man. Welcome.
You guys for real. Get Brent's stuff.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Creed. Booyah.
Man, hold on. I'm sorry, dude. Let me put you up on there. I'm gonna kick us out while you show that nice picture of for a book for a BA. Hold on 1 second. Go ahead.
Yeah, dude, those colors are amazing.
Oh. Me. Yeah, man. Yeah, it really is. Like, dude. Just fantastic stuff.
That has such like a 90s Top Cow feel, which is like my favorite era. I love 90s Top Cow. Oh, love it.
Okay. All right. Just had to shout you out, BA, bro. All right. So you guys kind of touched on it a little bit, but how will Nano-13 affect any future comics that you have? Are we talking it's going to be a shared universe? Are we doing a multiverse? What are you all thinking for future comics involving Nano-13, if they're going to be spinoffs or whatnot?
So, like after issue 3, and you'll see at the end of issue 3 that the group splits off into different stories. So one of the things, and I don't really consider this a spoiler, It's just this is the world that they live in. Is each continent on Earth is apportioned to something that the Zerus have going
Okay.
on, and so this book takes place in Europe,
Oh,
but
okay.
but you'll you'll see things like the way the Zerus conduct business. They're eugenicists, so ultimately, like they're also racist, you know, and they don't allow, like the races to mix or anything like that because it's they breed these slaves for specific tasks and things like that. But you'll
Okay.
notice that, like Akari, she's obviously not from Europe. So you're going to be, wait a minute, she's got a backstory. Where is she from? You know, Balam, which you only see him a few times in this one, but his name is the Mayan word for jaguar. So wait,
That's
he's from South
awesome.
America.
Wow.
How did
He's
he
an
get
important
to Europe?
character.
Yeah,
He's a big character. He's a
Okay.
very important character that
yes,
you just get some glimpses of.
yeah,
Was he
yeah.
on the
Right on
cover
the
of
cover.
issue 1?
Nope.
So y'all are hiding this guy?
You'll see
Well
him.
played.
You'll
Well
see him
played.
in there.
Well
Yep.
played.
Yep. You'll see him. And you catch he's not in issue 1 very much. But after issue 3, like you're going to see him more obviously. After issue 3, him and his team are going to get their own book and they're going to go to a different continent. And there's another team
Nice.
that are going to go to another continent. And you're going to find out what goes on on these other continents.
That's cool,
Yeah.
dude. That's awesome.
And
I like
eventually
that.
we'll reveal the 2 that are not in the book. You actually won't see them until issue 5. But
Y'all building
that's
some
probably
damn
too
intrigue. I like
spoilery, actually.
it. Hold on. I got a question. So, have you had this in your head to go like in out like this? Because the way it's sounding is like we're getting them specifically in Europe, and then it kind of branches out. Like, was that your plan all along, or as you're writing, you're like, oh, I can move this here and there, like a piece of a puzzle?
A little bit of both. I I had always planned to kind of explore the world. I did, especially like when you have these characters, like when Ron and I were going over Akari, because Akari was actually, um, another character that I had thought of, but then Ron and I talked and was like, you know what, let's make this character, let's give this character more depth. So let's change some things about her or whatever. And then we started just I just started brainstorming backstory, and I was like, man, this backstory is going to tie into this side story that I already have going on. So I just connected those dots, and I think I I know for sure that when it does branch off into other stories, I will be looking for other writers because sure, I could write every story, but I really want to focus on the main title, and I kind of want some fresh brains in there in
Wow.
my
Okay.
sandbox, you know, that get the world and want to put their own spin on the story, and I just give them, hey, this is uh the ultimate plan is 12 issues of Nano-13. And then there are 3 spin-offs. Each one of those will be traditional, like 24-page books, and
Okay.
they'll have they'll each be 6 parts. And then
Wow. That's
there
extensive.
is,
Wow. Okay.
yeah, yeah. And then there's a one shot, but I just when I was wrapping up issue 5, I realized that one shot is probably gonna get a number 2 because there's too many questions and I can't answer them all in one story. So, like yes,
Okay.
it that's why like I like I'm not even like I need your support. I'm like, guys, you want to support this because it's epic. Like my sci-fi influences, I'm I'm still a big Star Wars fan. I'm just not a Disney Star Wars fan.
That's
Um,
fair.
It's
you
not
know,
Star Wars.
right? Exactly. It's bad fan fiction, and I'm a big Battlestar Galactica, both the original series and the remake series.
I'm still trying to get Brittany to watch the remake series with me because I'll never be able to watch it unless Brittany watches it with me because we always watch, something that we both enjoy. I've
Mhm.
seen the first season and I couldn't stop watching it, and it's
Oh,
it's
dude,
already old. Like I want to watch it before I die.
it
You
is
know,
so good, and I
I
do
know.
I
I
take a
want her to
lot
watch it.
I take a lot of influence from Star Wars, from Battlestar Galactica, like i- the grittier side of sci-fi.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
man.
like I like that grittier side of sci-fi. The you know sci-fi where the futuristic vehicles break down and you have to fix them.
There's still
Yeah,
like pipes and
I like that.
hoses. It
yeah,
doesn't. It,
I
it
do
doesn't
like
all
that.
look like an Apple product.
yeah,
I
I
yeah.
like
love that.
that.
You know,
I
Love that.
absolutely love that, man.
well,
All
and
right,
also I
go ahead. Go ahead.
like with the Zeros, a lot of sci-fi, they'll say, okay, well, you have this alien bug race. So therefore their structures need to look like bug hives and their ships need to look like wasps or something like that. And I'm like, no, I don't actually think so because I think that's already been done. So, why wouldn't they just build with they have to use the same materials that anybody else uses to build.
Right,
Yes, they're
because
going to
what's
have their own
available?
architectural designs and stuff like that. But humans don't make the space shuttle look like a person flying through the air. Why would a bug
No.
race make a bug ship? You know,
And
and
you'll actually be able to see that in the art as well. Like from the outside, it'll look like a sci-fi facility.
mhm.
The hallways, you might you might have some regular sci-fi stuff and a little bit of different, but when you get into the personal rooms
Yeah,
of the characters, that's when you'll see more of their touch of not being
I
human,
see.
you
right.
Okay.
know?
All
Yeah.
right.
So there's like different levels to the architecture. And the
Hmm.
way I
Okay.
thought of it is I never even heard Chris's view before right now. The way I thought of it was they had humans build this stuff. So a lot of it's going to
Hmm.
look human.
Human.
Pretty
And
Okay.
then
much. Pretty
they get
much.
into their personal realm and their office and their laboratory, whatever. It's going to look more like them. So
Yeah.
that's what I tried to do.
And
Okay.
just kind of like a little I'll say Easter egg or whatever. Like I said, the Zeros invaded during the Bronze Age 3,000 years ago. But their original invasion wasn't total subjugation like you see in the book. It was
Okay.
very much like the Roman Empire. It was,
Okay.
you know, we rule over you as long as you're doing what we say, we can use your labor. But at some point in the past, there was essentially a human rebellion, and down comes the hammer of
Yeah,
the
man.
alien race.
Then they
And
Okay.
they're like,
then
nope,
they
we're
became
not going to let
Canadian.
that happen. Yeah. Yeah.
Then they
And
And
you
became
know what?
then they became Canada.
yes.
And that's, I mean, that kind of actually bleeds into something that Shiro just asked. Do you pull any real life military experience into your writing as well?
Um I I I do pull. So I was a combat engineer. Combat engineers essentially blow stuff up or look for things that blow up.
That's cool. Okay. All right. That's, don't say it so modestly, sir. That's awesome.
and so like I do understand a lot about explosives, and also like how like fire teams work and things like that. So you will notice that this team is 4 people. Um, and that would be, just like a fire team. And they operate like that, but I also know I'm writing a comic book, so there are things, and they have superpowers. So I don't want to say outright that yes, I threw in stuff from my military experience or whatever, but it definitely has a lot of influence on um, how they operate and things like that. But it's also like, I understand the military as this giant bureaucracy that everybody that's in there doesn't like. And I was like, I don't I don't I don't want to put all that bureaucracy in there. Like, these guys are
Okay.
not just military. They're military that have superpowers, and they're so elite that nobody is going to be telling them what to do.
Gotcha.
Like,
When Chris uses the term freedom fighters, that's what you're really like. That's the real feel of it. It is
Okay.
very like you can tell that you can tell they're military. You can tell that they're regimented, that they know what they're doing, that
mhm,
they're serious people. But like Chris said, without the bureaucracy, like they are freedom fighters with superpowers.
mhm.
So yeah, it is very military, but yeah, like no, like you said, you're not gonna tell these guys you can't go somewhere if they want to go there. You're gonna fucking go there. Like this, it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah, and there is actually some backstory to that will eventually be
Okay.
fleshed out. Like, why are they able to just because there is a militia, of the free people or whatever, but they don't answer to that at all. And you'll get to understand why and how things are structured as time goes on. Oh, you're muted.
Thank you. I do it so I don't say anything. I want to make sure you guys talk, but I
Sure,
forget when
sure,
I
sure.
talk. Yeah, I forgot to put this up to Shiro. Put was like, yeah, I love the art and it drives. All right, so I've only did so I when I read comics, every character has a different voice and a different
Mhm,
personality in my
Yep.
head. So
mhm,
with the art that you have, I've got at least 4 or 5 different voices I'm gonna have, which makes taking a comic book forever to read, but it's entertaining as hell. So I will say the first time I ever tried this outside of my own brain was when I was with Shira. We were dating and we were in Philly and she was like, "Hey, do you want to read a comic?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Do you read out loud?" So I was like, "As a matter of fact, I do." And so I'm reading it in the voices in my head, and there's a live report. So I do the weatherman's voice, like, "We interrupt this program for a special live broadcasting." And all of a sudden, I just feel the bed shaking. I look over and she's laughing her ass off because she's like, "I didn't know you went this." And I was like, "Well, I have to because the characters that are drawn, if they're that specific, if they're that detailed, it demands a character that goes with it with my voice." So I'm
mhm,
glad you have this kind of art so I can go there. But
mhm.
that was the last time I've ever read out loud ever. I'm not doing that
Dude, I
again
love you. I
because
love you guys. That's so great.
thank
That
you.
That
is
is
Thank you.
awesome.
fantastic. That is
Thank you.
fantastic.
You know what, guys? So how can people reach you guys that are looking for either future collaborations to bring you on for your own their live streams as well, or for any commissioned art or writing? How can they reach out to you guys?
Go ahead,
Just
Chris.
at Chris Faction on Twitter. That is the best way to get in touch with me. Yeah, just follow me, and I'm kind of lazy about following people back. I'll like after like a month or so, I'll be like, oh man, I gotta, But I'll get there eventually. But yeah, man, just my DMs are always open. I am looking to go on as many shows as I can. Um, I if you're looking for a writer, give me a little bit. Because only because like I want to get this first book out, and I would
Yeah.
like to see some reviews and some critiques, because this is my first um, story writing project. I wrote music for years, but that's a totally
Okay.
different animal, you know. And so yeah. But man, I hope you guys enjoy it. You will. I know you
Like, sure, slide in those DMs, y'all. Okay, slide in those
will. Right.
DMs. Question for those that do not have Twitter: do you have an email address that you use where they can reach you also? Because I'm finding
Chris
a lot of
Faction.
people aren't.
Chris
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Faction. Yeah, chrisfaction@gmail.com. Too easy. I try to.
ChrisFaction at
Yeah.
gmail.com, guys.
Yep.
Nice. All right, Mr. Ron, what you got,
Yeah.
man? How do you reach out to you?
So for me, Twitter, and I'm so horrible at marketing myself. It's either going to be Romo Art or Romo 2 Art. I can't remember.
I think it is Romo 2 Art.
You think
I think
is
it's
it Romo
Romo
2
2
Art?
Art.
Okay, it's
Yeah,
Romo 2 Art.
Romo 2 Art.
I'm the worst. Okay, so it's Romo 2 Art on Twitter. DM me. Unlike Chris, I get back to everybody immediately. I feel horrible if I don't. So yeah, DM me. I am really busy with art, like probably more busy than I should be, but I'll get through it, which is a new problem for me, and that's the kind of problem that I like. So yeah, but here's the thing. I'm fast enough and I work digitally. I can always squeeze in a cover or some promo art or a commission. So anyone looking for anything, still hit me up if it's like a single piece here and there. I want to help everybody that I can. Facebook, I believe it's the same thing. It's either Romo Art or Romo 2 Art. There won't be many of us. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
got it on there. Romo 2 Art. Yeah,
awesome. Thank you.
I got you,
And that's
bro.
on
I got you.
Facebook. And then you can message me on Facebook. I don't check that as often. Facebook isn't as good for me as Twitter is for the comic book scene. But I'm still on there at least 3 times a week. So yeah,
Nice.
just reach out whatever you guys need. If I have time, even in the future, I always want to help as much as I can. So
Yeah. Technically, I have a Facebook. I can
It's-
I can I can get on there. There are no I can't show my face because I got a lifetime ban.
I don't even know how you got one. I don't even know if I want to ask, man. How you get a
oh, it's
lifetime
great.
ban on the book
It
with
is
faces,
great.
man?
I
Go ahead, sir. Tell us how you get the lifetime ban, man.
I'm I'm a little bit of
I'm a little bit country.
I can be a little bit of an activist in 2020 really kind of irritated me and
You did the
See,
right thing and you got banned. That's what fucking happened.
yeah
Chris is a good man.
okay,
That's what happened.
okay.
I spent some time in those riots trying to help people protect businesses, private property, things like that. Made the news a few times.
A few times.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep. And
Dude, I was shocked when he told me this. I was like, you're fucking kidding me. You're kidding me.
Wow.
Yeah, like we have like a legit 2020 star right here. It's pretty crazy.
it was a little wild, you know.
This is gonna be a different. I'm
Wild.
bringing you on for a different stream entirely.
Oh, dude.
Out.
I told you.
Wow,
You guys would get along really well. I know that you guys would get along really well. I knew it.
dude.
As soon as
I will
as
say.
soon as I saw your channel, I'm like, oh, he's gonna love Chris.
I will say this. I got laid off in March of 2020, and then like I was unemployed for like 10 months. So I will just say that I understand 2020 was a different year, but I'm about to bring you on for that's a different conversation. I'm going to bring you on, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Just kill me, Kyle. But yeah, so I guess the thing is from here is and I sent this to you early, but what's a question that you guys have been dying to answer that you haven't been asked yet? Either by me, family members that are interested in it but haven't been able to ask, or just something you want to get out there.
Man, I don't really know because I think like, I probably give away too much already, and I'm like, I'll
See, I disagree. I know how big the story is. You don't give away enough.
okay.
Like it's so big that like
Yeah,
it's not like you could possibly ruin a surprise. Like it's
that's true.
amazing.
Tell you what, give me full screen for just a second. I'm gonna show you a picture on my phone, and then we'll talk about doing that other stream later. I don't know if you can see that. But let's see. Yeah. So things.
We're having
I
another
was in.
conversation about this next time. Yeah.
I was in the thick of it. In the thick of it.
Okay.
But,
All right. I guess see if Shiro's coming in here with I'm just gonna just bring her in here at some point. She's asking all these questions. Why comics and not a sci-fi book is her question. Yes.
I just like I said, I originally, kind of envisioned it as a novel, but the the more the story played out in my head, honestly, as a sci-fi movie. And yeah, I had pictures of all of these characters kind of going on in my head. And I was like, the best way to tell this story is going to be in a comic book format. Um, and I like, and if I was going to do it novel style, I would probably still be working on it.
Yeah. And I
Because
need rent, Shiro. Why are you trying to hurt me?
yeah, right.
I gotta pay rent. It's a comic because I need it to be a comic. That's why. I got fucking
There you go,
bills.
Shiro.
I'm broke. I need to pay rent.
I got you. Guys, it has been an amazing and fun time. Thank you guys for choosing me as the master of ceremonies for your launch party. As it stands, the Fund My Comic is at $877. It's at 58%. I'm going to try to add the orders that I placed on here, but they thought I was stealing for myself, so I have to talk to the credit card company in a second. But please believe it will go up after this stream. Okay, you know what? Here come Hero Darky Dark. What are y'all's type of woman? No cop out. I guess he means in the comics, I mean that's
Okay.
brought it up. Go ahead.
Jim Lee.
Yeah.
That's
Jim Lee Silvestri. Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri. Doesn't get better.
Yep.
Doesn't
That's
get better.
actually
Yeah, if you're
that's
gonna draw
actually
women,
fair.
Jim Lee. Yeah,
Jim
and
Lee.
Mark
That's
Yep.
damn. That's a good
Yeah.
question. That's a good
Yeah.
answer, guys. I'm not gonna lie. That's
Yeah.
actually really good. Yeah, I like that, man.
Couldn't answer better
Do you
than
anything
that.
else?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
I didn't get our card block. It just said, "Hey, fraud," and call us, please. So yeah, I didn't want to really run that twice, and so I'm gonna talk to the people with the card company, and hopefully we can get that dispute taken care of. Ron likes, okay.
Ron likes. She'll never let that
Okay.
go. When he says Ron likes blondes,
Bro, I need me to. It was an accidental click. I didn't, man. I heard. So I put like this. I don't want to get you in trouble. So I clicked it and I was like, ooh, okay.
my favorite type of girl is my wife. That's just my favorite
So-
type of girl. Is.
Excellent answer.
Yeah.
So all of you aspiring story writers out there, one, I don't want you to bog down Romo, but I will say this: if you hire Romo for sequentials, doing a whole book, you're gonna get the best freaking cookies that you ever had
Yeah.
in your life.
That's
Because
right.
his wife works at a bakery.
No. It's hers.
She is
she
a
bakes them.
bakery.
It's hers. Yeah.
She's
Mabel
a-
Bro, what's the
Mabel
name of her?
Bakes on Facebook. Mabel Bakes on Facebook. Yeah. Chris.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And Ron knows the last box of cookies that I got from her showed up on my doorstep 10 minutes after I took a gummy. And that
Wow.
was
Was that enjoyable?
something else.
Was that the best night ever? Holy
And
shit. That's
She
awesome.
sent a whole
Man.
bread in that box.
Oh, dude.
There's a whole bread in there.
Dude, like she charges like something ridiculous. So let's say it's like 30 bucks for a box. The box is like
Mhm.
15 pounds of cookies.
It's
Like,
crazy.
15
Like
pounds.
there's not anyone yet that has gotten a box of her cookies that hasn't said you need to charge more.
Oh
They-
yeah,
they're-
yeah.
She
Did I
packs,
s-
man.
Is this spelled correctly in this comment?
Mabel
Mabel
Bakes, yep.
Bakes.
Mabel
Got
Bakes
it.
on Facebook.
And she delivers. Okay, because I mean
Yeah,
we're in. I know.
It
Go ahead.
just US only because it costs so much more to charge
Yeah.
like internationally, but yeah, US.
That's fine, bro. We're in Texas. I'm in Texas too, so I
Yeah,
mean,
dude.
ship,
Oh,
might be a ship down
For
here.
real,
So
man.
you know how hard it
people-
is to stay on keto diet when there's fucking chocolate chip cookies right
bro,
there.
I'm
Oh
having
my
to drink
god,
keto tequila, dude.
nice,
Like,
my
yeah,
man,
so
nice.
yeah, it's a rough life, but I'm not gonna lie. We went to a sugar and sweets festival. We gave up this weekend, but we're gonna be back on it. My wife does the
Yeah.
carnivore diet,
That's what I
so
do every
you
weekend.
know,
All right, I'll be
bro,
back on Monday.
I-
I'll be back on Monday.
yeah,
I do
it's awesome,
carnivore,
dude.
except for when I get high.
Are you
That's
on?
fair.
Do you do carnivore, Chris?
Bro,
Yeah, I do
I-
carnivore.
So I'm gonna be
That's
doing
not-
when I take over the health food store at the end of this year, and I finally have like a base income. I'm going carnivore. I want to be able to afford really good meat first, though.
Honestly, Shiro has been doing it for about the last 3 or 4 months, and she's like, it's a lot. She feels great. Like,
Yeah,
her energy is up. She stays
Yeah.
even the whole day. Like, I just can't do it because I like to snack, and I want to put too much pressure on her having to cook so many meals of meats, having to chop everything up. Otherwise, I'd do it. But yeah, it's actually great if you can get on it. So it's awesome.
dude. I
But
used to be like, I used to be over 300 pounds.
One of the
And-
things-
wow,
One of the
Yeah,
things that
and I've
I
lost
noticed
a lot.
one of the things I noticed about going on the carnivore diet is like at first you're gonna you realize I am addicted to
I'm
sugar,
addicted. I'm addicted. I know,
and
man.
you will go through withdrawals. But once you make it through those withdrawals, um, you don't have to eat 3 meals a day. Like you can
I know.
in the morning. I have a massive breakfast.
Your
breakfast.
appetite
Yeah.
completely
I have
changes.
I have 2 pieces of bacon, 3 eggs, and a steak for breakfast
Yeah, that's
every morning. And I don't eat again until like 3 in the afternoon. And it's usually like just like jerky or there's a store that I go to on my route that has some
Mhm.
local like beef sticks or whatever, you know, they get made
yeah.
from a
Okay.
local farm
Yeah.
and everything. And I'll get some of those and I'm good. You know, I
Word.
like so you're still getting, you know, your calories in, but yeah, you don't have to eat near as often,
Yes,
and that
no.
saves you money.
Yeah.
It does, dude. It
does.
saves a
It
lot
does.
of money.
I
A
know.
Yeah.
lot of money. But yeah,
Mhm.
bro, I'm not gonna lie. Oh wait, see, here you go. Post egg and chit on it. Yeah, we
cheese
got
on it.
yeah. That's how the Texas came out. The Texas came out right there. Tell you about. But dude, I have to bring you on a separate stream on there, man. But yeah,
For sure.
but guys, from anything to comics to the carnivore diet, we got y'all. Thank you guys so much for joining us again, guys. Chris Faction and Ron's book, Nano-13, issue number 1 is out. The link for that is in the description. And guys, thank you again so much for Chris Faction and Romo to Art. E.G.O out.